Sit down. Woohoo! We are to day two of the Go Live Challenge. How did day one go for you? Whether you went live or you didn't go live, it's okay. Even if you just watched the training and learned and thought about it, you still took a step. There's still time. You're not behind. You haven't missed anything. You can still go live. The objective here is to learn and get more comfortable and confident on video. And whatever that means for you, that's the objective. So if you've not gone live yet, don't worry about it. Go live today. Go live tomorrow. Catch up and go live this weekend. You go at your pace. That's the beauty of us taking these 4 go live days, these 4 live training days, and stretching them over 2 weeks, is that you have the time you need to prepare, to practice, to fit it into your schedule. So you're in a great place. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Now, my question for you is, for those of you that did go live, how hard was it to hit 3 minutes? Was that a challenge? And it can be a challenge on either side, right? It was a challenge because you were like, what the heck am I supposed to talk about to go for 3 minutes? Or was it a challenge of, oops, I went for 10 and I was only supposed to go for 3. I got to rein it in. How difficult was it to get to that 3 minute mark? It can be a challenge, right? For sure. The other thing that I saw from a lot of you when you were joining the group where the challenge happens, or you were sharing challenges, your goals and your whys and things of that nature, is you said, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what in the world to cover. What do I talk about live? Today, you're going to get answers that will help you with both of those scenarios. Okay, so Jeanette says, not only is she ready for a story, but she says, oh my gosh, it was so hard to go for 3 minutes. I didn't think it was going to be hard, and it was. Yeah, it can be, it's a challenge. Okay, Joanne says, hard to be focused and succinct. I'm so glad you brought this up, Joanne, because I got a little tip for everybody today. I don't know if you all saw this, but Stephanie Lee shared this as her aha from day one. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so important. I want to share it with all of you today. She said, when I am making eye contact with the camera lens and not looking at myself, I'm more focused. Because what happens is when I'm looking at myself, I'm distracted by all of the things. I'm distracted by my hair. I'm distracted by something in my background. I'm distracted by, in my case, my dog moving. I'm distracted by something else. So sometimes just the act of focusing here helps keep you focused in your thought processes too. I thought that was so awesome. And I wanted to make sure I shared that with you all today. So thank you, Stephanie Lee, for allowing me to share your aha with everybody. I hope she wanted the same thing I did, that you get some value out of seeing it from that perspective. Yeah, super awesome. Super awesome. Okay. What we're talking about today is telling stories. So before we even get too far ahead of ourselves here, do you have the workbook for day 2? If not, I just realized I didn't put the link up above. Ooh. Okay, for those of you that are watching the replay, the link will be there for you. I'll go back and edit. For those of you that are with me live, sorry. Hopefully you've got it or you can find it. If not, I don't want you to lose sleep. I don't want you to get all worried about it. We're going to do some drawing on paper. You'll be fine if you just have paper. So if you don't have time to go grab it and print it and have the workbook, don't worry about it. Just have paper. Paper and markers or even a pen or pencil will work great for today, okay? For those of you that have not yet given StreamYard permission, what's going to happen is if I see your comments, I'll show you what it looks like here, is that it'll say Facebook user. Now, if you want to be anonymous this way, awesome. But just know I can't see who you are and nobody else can either. Versus when Jeanette says, ready for a story, you can see her name and her photo. That gives her a little bit of, I don't know, gives her a little benefit for sharing her comments. Okay. So what you have to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. You just got to click a button. You're basically giving StreamYard permission to pull this information from you from Facebook. Okay. Miscellaneous admin stuff done. Let's get into the actual fun content. Okay. So first and foremost, let's review this 3-step model. This model, I will tell you, this quick, easy model is something that I still use to this day. If I'm going to go live and I'm going to do something just short and sweet and quick, under 10 minutes maybe, all I need to use is this model. And it's hook, story, call to action. Okay. What that means is I'm grabbing attention with the hook, get people to want to watch my video. I'm keeping their attention by telling a story. That's where the good stuff is, the golden nugget, whatever else, the tip, whatever it is that you're sharing. And then because I have done such an awesome job at giving value, I've earned the right to ask you to do something. That's the call to action. Okay. Hook, story, call to action. This is a model you can use forever to make quick live videos. Heck, sometimes you could probably even go longer depending on how much storytelling and content you're going to give in there. Okay. We're going to take each of these pieces and we're going to focus each day on it. So today we're focused on the story. Next week, Tuesday, we'll talk about hooks. Next week, Thursday, we will talk about call to action. Okay. That's our roadmap for the rest of this challenge. My question for all of you as we get into stories is, why are stories so powerful? Why are they important? Sometimes it's easier to think about this from our own perspective. Why do you enjoy stories? How do stories help you connect or learn or whatever else? I would love some comments. Why are stories so powerful and so important? How y'all feel about stories? Okay, Judy says, as a personal historian, oh yeah, Judy, this is so in your zone, right? Stories are so important. The stories we tell, the stories we share, passing along those stories. I have some of the best stories came from my great grandmother, and I still use them to this day. They're so awesome. Okay, Jeanette says, Jeanette says, we relate to them. We can put ourselves in that story. We relate and we connect, right? And in the entrepreneurial space, what it creates is, oh, she's been where I'm at right now. She's been through this. She's learned from this. I can then learn from her. I want what she's about to share because there's a connection point. Absolutely, Jeanette. Joanne says the same thing. It's about relating. Yes, yes. Okay, Judy says, my favorite is gathering end of life stories. Oh my gosh. I bet that's just, oh my gosh, so powerful. Okay, relatable. Somebody else says relatable. And Trish says stories help you connect, right? And it's not only connect to you this way, this two-way dialogue, it's connect to whatever it is that you're talking about. Oftentimes, stories help us understand and comprehend something because we can relate it to a story that we're all familiar with. It's also a great way to remember because of this connection point that Trish talks about, right? So I might not remember what Jamie said about stories, but I'm going to remember the story she told. And as a result of remembering that story she told, I'm going to remember the things she's wanting me to learn. So there is a connection point to the topic, if you will. Nadia says it's the glue that connects all of us as people, and it also with the topic at hand. Absolutely. Nadia's got it. I love that. Okay. Somebody else says they help us empathize. Yes. I've been where you are for sure. They help us relate and remember our common humanity in the world. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Okay. So you're getting this idea. What I want to introduce you to today is something that I like to call POW bubbles. Oh, I thought it was going to come up. How was that for a pause? I'd like to introduce you to POW bubbles, and then nothing happens. See, that's a memorable story. Jamie messed up and you're going to laugh and remember that. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. I'd like to introduce you to something today called Pow Bubbles. How was that? Was that better? I'm making myself laugh here. Okay. The idea behind this is this. Anything that you are talking about on social media can become alive by telling a story. Okay, so let me just back up and say that differently because I'll make sure you get this. For those of you that are like, I don't know what to talk about. What in the heck am I going to talk about live? Look at your social media content. Hopefully you've got a social media content strategy and you have a plan and you know what you're posting and all of that's working out great. You're posting quotes and inspirational things. You're posting tips or whatever it is that you're posting. It doesn't matter what you're posting, right? Whatever you are currently posting on social media, all of that, any of it can become inspiration for a live. All you got to do is tell a story. And if that word story makes you go, oh, stories, that's too fluffy. Okay. Think of it like elaborate, example, any of that. You're just wanting to share more information about that topic. Think of it like this. If there was a post that you did on social media and people were like, ooh, and you got a lot of comments or a lot of loves or a lot of engagement, you now know that topic is of interest to your people. So use it again later and go live and talk about it. There's a connection there between that, right? All you got to do is tell a story or elaborate or give an example or explain or whatever word makes you comfortable. That's the objective here. I'm going to use stories for the rest of this live, but remember or just know that it can be whatever fits best for you. Okay. How do you come up with a story? How do you pick the story? That's where we're going to get into Pow Bubbles. Okay. So you have a space for this in your workbook. If you don't have your workbook, that's okay. Grab some markers, grab a pen. You could even use crayon, whatever you got handy. And what I want you to kind of draw out is this idea, something in the center. And then you're going to pow, 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 pow. And you're going to create some smaller Pow Bubbles outside of that center spot. Okay. This is already drawn for you in the workbook if you have it handy. I don't know what page it's on, but you have this drawn out. Okay. In the center is that whatever it is that inspires you, that post, that idea. By the way, while we're thinking of it, doesn't have to be your post. It might be somebody else's post. Now, I want to know, you can be honest with me. I'm going to be honest with you. How many of you will see a post and screenshot it or save it because you might use it later? And what happens to all of those screenshots and saved posts? Do you ever look at them again? I don't. They go into the photo graveyard. But I think I might use it at some future point. That's the whole objective. The other thing that probably a lot of you do is you share that post. Okay. Now, if you, a couple of weeks ago, I know a lot of you are brand new to my space here in the Get on Camera group. A few weeks ago, I did a video. If you want the link to the video, just in the comments, just say, send me the link. And I'll send you the link to a video that we talked about different post types. And sharing posts is actually one of the lower reached items. The other thing that sharing a post does is it doesn't necessarily set you up as the authority that you are. So you can change that by adding your perspective. And now I am absolutely 100% off on a tangent. So I'm going to rein it back in. And the whole point here is other people's posts can become inspiration for your lives. So find a way to capture those ideas in a way that doesn't go into the graveyard. Okay. So what goes in the center here is the idea, the whatever happened that made you go, boom. All right. I need to talk about that. It could even be a topic prompt like the ones I'm giving you as part of this Go Live challenge. All right. So let's use today. Today's topic prompt is to go live 3 minutes. Continue to make eye contact and tell a story about your business. Okay. So it's story about my business. So you're going to use this Pow Bubble activity to say, okay, what are some stories that I could tell based on being inspired by this idea? Remember, this can be one of your own posts. This can be somebody else's post. This can be a topic prompt. This could be a whole bunch of stuff. Every Monday inside the Get on Camera group, I give you a topic prompt. So if you need that, there. I've also got a free download of 100 different topic prompts if you want it. Okay. All right. So now we have an idea in the center of our POW bubble. What kinds of stories can you tell? Those go out here. You can add POW bubbles, right? I bet we can come up with more than 4. This can be as many POWs as you want. So let's play with this a little bit. Okay, you all kind of help me. You all chime in the comments. What would be some ideas for stories you could tell around your business? I'll give you a couple and then we'll go to the comments. So I might tell why I started my business. Why did I start my business? I might tell why I picked this business, right? Why did I choose to do this business over anything else that I could have done? I might tell the story about my first client or my first offer or my first dollar that I ever made, whatever else it is. Those are all stories that I can tell about my business. If you're running out of ideas, you could talk about why did I pick pink? I tongue-tied all of that together. Why did I go with pink as my brand color? All of these become story ideas. Okay, let's see what you guys got in comments for other story ideas. Okay. When it started. Ooh, good one. As long as there's a story to it, right? Here's what you want to be thinking about. I love this idea, Jeanette. Started. Okay. There's got to be a story with it because it's not much of a story if I just say, I started my business 5 years ago. That's not going to get me to 3 minutes, right? The goal is to tell stories so that I can get to that 3-minute mark. Okay. So maybe there's some drama around when it started, right? Maybe there's a story in there, like it started during the pandemic. Maybe it started because I lost my job. Maybe it started because I was in this problem, this pain point, and I figured it out, and there's got to be a story to it. Okay. But here's what I want to call out. I want to make sure this is clear. At this point, when you are brainstorming POW bubbles, you don't edit yourself. You just write them all down. All of them, any and all ideas. You put as many POW bubbles as you want around this. And then what you're going to do is say, okay, now that I have all these ideas, somebody's talking about me, my nose is itching. Now that I have all these ideas, which story, one story, I'm not going to tell all of these stories. I'm going to tell one. Which one story am I going to tell in this live? I think I'm going to tell this one. It doesn't matter which one you pick, which one feels right. You can throw darts at it if you want. You could put it flat and be like, I'm going to drop a coin. Oh, that's where it landed. It doesn't matter. You can't pick wrong because they're all stories. You can also look at this and say, which story helps me get to the point I'm trying to make in my video? Okay. Now here's the awesome part. Oh my gosh. Which one of y'all is talking about me today? My nose will not stop itching. Okay. You guys got some more stories. We're going to look at them next, but here's the cool point. Okay. Once I get this all mapped out, each one of these can become a live video that I do. Imagine, like, just for examples, I came up with 1, 2, 3, 4. I came up with 6. That's 6 lives that I can do. If I do one a week, that's a month and a half of live videos that I just mapped out here. Pretty cool, right? So as you do this POW bubble, save these. You can always come back to them. Keep track of it somehow. Whether you take this paper and you stick them in a folder, or you use a Trello board and you write them all down, you organize it however way you want, but there's gold on here. This is amazing to have this many ideas. Okay. And let's just stop for a second and realize that was off of one idea. How many different social media posts are you doing on a regular basis? How many different social media posts are you seeing that you like of other people's that could all inspire lives that you can do? That is the power of telling stories. Even if your message is the same, even if your call to action is the same, the fact that you've changed and told another story will help different people. It'll attract different people. It'll connect different people. And that's what you're wanting to do. Okay. So let's see what else you came up with here in terms of stories. So Angela says stories about being a psychic development, stories from prior students. You got it. And even for those of you that are not psychic like Angela is, this should inspire some ideas. Stories about being whatever your niche is, stories about developing that niche, stories from students, clients, whatever else it is. All of that works. Yes. Love telling stories about why I'm called Auntie Artichoke. Okay, see, now I'm going to need to know this. Judy, I'm going to need to know what's going on. Okay. Jeanette says there's drama about when it started. Okay. Going back to what you all talked about earlier, why do we love stories? Why are they important? We talked about being connected and related. The question that I would have for you is what makes a good story? And oftentimes it's this. And it doesn't always have to be drama. I know sometimes we think, oh, drama, that it's kind of this yucky thing. Drama can just be building up some anticipation. Okay. Judy just did it just now with me. She created some drama, this moment of Auntie Artichoke. What's Auntie Artichoke? I'm going to need to know this story. She created some drama, some interest. That's what you're trying to do with your stories. Okay. Okay. You are not late, Claudia. You are right on time. You're exactly where you need to be. Trish says tips to help your ideal client. Stories. Okay. As long as they're stories, Trish. So you might share tips, but you got to give me the story first. Okay. So going back to, let's just say you're going to talk about your first client. You're going to tell a story about your first client and their challenges and maybe how you help them. And here are some tips that you gave this first client that now I'm giving to you inside this video. So the story helps bring those tips to life. If I were to just sit here and say, okay, I like to use this idea. So run with me here on this. I like to pretend that I'm a personal chef because I can't cook. I'm really bad at cooking. And so it just it helps me dream. Okay. So let me have my dream. So let's say I am a personal chef and I'm helping people make gourmet peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I want to do some tips. Okay. So if I go live and I just say, all right, everybody, here are your tips. Your tips for building a gourmet peanut butter and jelly sandwich is you got to use crunchy peanut butter. You got to cut it on the angle and you got to put butter on the outside, like whatever my tips are. Those are great. But if instead I tell you a story and I say, I want to tell you about this gig that I had where this mom hired me to come in and help improve her lunches for her kids because she was so sick and tired of her kids complaining about what she was making in their lunches. Every day it was a fight. Every day they were complaining. She was so frustrated. She was like, I don't know what to do. I can't afford to just pay for all of these lunches all the time. So she hired me and I gave her some tips. And one of her favorites was the gourmet peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And today you're going to learn how to make that gourmet peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Here are the tips. Do you see how that story transforms this video that I'm doing, this make-believe video? That's what you want to do with your stories. Pull those stories into your video. Okay? All right. Nadia has a graveyard of pow bubbles. Me too, Nadia. Me too. Okay. Claudia says personal change stories. Yes. Yes. Whether they're your own or your clients. Awesome. Claudia says turning drama into comedy. We talked about this. We had a Go Live League call just before this. And one of the things we talked about is, sometimes when you're telling stories, and especially if they're your own stories, sometimes that can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just talking about myself ad nauseum. And you never want to feel like I'm talking about my challenges or my struggles, or is that too much? And here's the answer. The answer is the only time it becomes too much is if you are just complaining to complain. But if you're sharing a story in order to teach something, in order to give a message, in order to change some perspective, in order to say, if you're here, I was here too. I had this same challenge. And here's what I did. And you're now going to learn how to do that so that you don't have to be stuck here. You can be where I am. Then that complaining story becomes inspirational. It becomes motivational. If I can get myself out of wherever I was, so can you. So don't underestimate the power of that drama. And yes, you can make it fun. If you're a funny person, make it fun. That's just awesome. I love it. Okay. Judy's giving us a little bit. Oh my goodness. Judy just had her 80th birthday, right, Judy? So let's all give Judy a happy 80th birthday. You deserve all of those roses. That's fantastic. I love it. Okay. A story with a tip. Trisha's got it. Yes. 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 I just told everybody why you got a dozen roses. And listen, I'm jumping to conclusions. I might be totally wrong. So Judy, feel free to tell us what's going on there. Look at this. Look at all these happy birthdays, Judy. Oh, that's so great. You guys are so awesome. Okay. So what questions do you have about pile bubbles? Everybody see where we're going? See the objective here? See the benefit of this? Okay. If you got questions, now's the perfect time to drop them. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to suggest to you is this. Yes, you can have a graveyard of pile bubbles like Nadia talked about. I like to recommend having a story idea book. And I meant to have mine out so I could show it to you. But if I get up and move, my dog's going to go crazy. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to tell you about it. Oftentimes what I find is that actually, let me go here first. Hold on. Oftentimes what I hear from clients is they will say something like, I don't have any stories. I'm so boring. I don't ever leave my house. I don't have this lifestyle that people care about. Okay. That's crap. It's crap. That is a little bit of imposter syndrome peeking out. And you know what we say to that? No more. Okay. There is a show. You all may have seen it. It's called Seinfeld. And it is about nothing. It is about nothing. The whole show. I don't even know how many seasons there are of Seinfeld. All of those episodes, hundreds and hundreds of episodes, they're all about nothing. They're all about nothing. So if they can make a successful television series about nothing, you can come up with stories. I promise you. The key is to look at your stories differently. The key is to be more aware of the stories you do have. What I find is that it's not that you don't have stories, it's that you can't remember them or you can't think about them. So hopefully this pile bubble exercise helped you. Okay. It's kind of like this. And I know there's a name of it, and I'm sure somebody here is going to know exactly what this is called. But if you've ever bought a new vehicle, doesn't have to be a new, but new to you, right? So just for the sake of argument, let's say you bought a new Jeep Wrangler, because I love Jeep Wranglers. I used to have one. I miss it very much. So you bought a new Jeep Wrangler, and now you see Jeep Wranglers everywhere. Everywhere you see them. Are there just suddenly more Jeep Wranglers? No. It's because you're more aware. You're looking for them. You see them. They're not more of them overnight. There's a thing that this is called something. I'm sure somebody's going to drop it here in a second. Somebody always does. There it is. I knew it. Somebody would have it. Thanks, Jeanette. Okay, I knew there was a term. So the whole point is you need to start looking and collecting stories. Pile bubbles is a great way to do it. Another way to do it is to create a storybook. You can do this digitally or in paper. So those of you, let me say this as a warning. If there's anybody out there who, like me, has a small addiction to journals and notebooks, you may want to do this for just 30 seconds. Okay. This is a really good reason to go buy a new binder, a new thing, a new book. Go to the store wherever you buy journals and get something that's like the best ever. My storybook idea is the Van Gogh Starry Night, which is my favorite painting. I love that painting. One day I'm going to have a version of it tattooed on my body, but for now it is just a leather-bound journal, and it's Starry Night. And every time I see it, it just makes me happy. Okay, and that is my storybook. And anytime something happens, and I think, oh, that's a good story. I don't even maybe know where that story, how it connects or I just think, oh, that's a good story. It goes in that book. And sometimes I write in the journal. Sometimes I you know me and my Post-it notes. Sometimes I just take a Post-it note and I write the story down and I stick that in there. That book is tagged and there's all sorts of stuff sticking out of it. It's just wonderful. I love it. What that helps me then is when I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do this video on this. I need a story. All I got to do is pick up my book and start thumbing through it. Ooh, there's a good story. You could, if those of you that are like super organized, you could go get one of those that is like a 5-ring binder, or not binder, but 5-subject notebook, you know what I'm talking about, and tab it out so that you categorize your stories as you stick them in there or you write them out. You have way more stories than you think you have, I promise. Here's the other thing I'm going to say about stories. These are not stories that you're trying to use to get your own Netflix show. It's not that kind of story. You are telling a story to illustrate a point. You're telling a story to connect and to relate. We already talked about all of this. It doesn't have to be a Netflix-worthy story in order to achieve that objective. It can be a small story that just helps your audience connect with you, where you've been, where you're going, what you do. Okay? Stop overthinking the stories. Stop thinking you don't have stories. I promise you, you do. All right, let me go to comments, see if I've missed anything. Okay, good. Judy told us about the artichoke heart, so you all can read what that is all about. Okay. Okay. Oh, somebody sent me Starry Night, something Starry Night. I can't wait to look at it. I'm not going to look at it now because I'll get on a tangent. Okay, no comments, no questions. You're all good. All right. How are you feeling about the POW bubbles and the stories? Feel like you got this? Excited about this? Excited to use this? Hope so, because that's what you're going to be doing. That's your homework. Okay, one more thing I want to touch on here before I give you your call to action and take any other questions that you have. And that is utilize those Post-it notes, whether you're using the big ones or like I like to use the small ones, right? And I stick them on my phone or whatever else it is, okay? Bullet points of your story. I don't know if you saw my live yesterday. I went live yesterday and I obliterated an obstacle. Say that 10 times fast. Obliterated an obstacle. And the obstacle was I get tongue-tied, I start stammering and stuttering or I go blank. Why is that happening? If you missed it, let me know you need the link. Just say, send me the link to obstacles, or just type the word obstacles. Let's do that. Type obstacles in the comments and I'll send you the link to that video. But one of the things, the answer to that is if that happens to you, you're going to have to prepare. You're going to have some notes. Okay. So when you are picking your story and you're like, I'm going to tell this story, all you want to do is write some bullet points of the order in which are the things that you're going to tell that story. I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to tell this. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that. Put it on your Post-it note, and then that's what sticks on your phone. So yeah, you might have a Post-it note with your arrow that points to your camera, and then use this to outline, here is the story I'm going to tell in the order I'm going to tell that in. That helps keep you focused because you have a plan of what you're going to talk about. It also helps you not rely on your brain, which if you are nervous or excited, is now flooding your body and not working as it's supposed to. Okay. So map out those story points on the Post-it notes that you're using to cover your face and see what difference that makes in making sure that you tell the story intentionally and you don't get off track. You don't lose sight of what you're talking about. Okay. All right. Your homework, and I'll come back to comments and questions here in a minute. Your homework is to go live. 3 minutes is your goal. I promise you this will be easier. It'll be easier to hit 3 minutes because you are telling a story. I will say this. I know a number of you are like, I'm just going to keep talking because I haven't hit 3 minutes. I don't want you to feel that. I don't want you to feel that pressure. Okay. You tell your story, cover your point. If it's 2 minutes, good enough. I don't want you to feel like you have to keep talking to hit that. Just go practice telling a story. The 3 minute is more like a goal. The closer you are to 3 minutes, especially those of you that can talk longer than 3 minutes, more people are going to watch your videos during this challenge. That's only for this challenge. Okay. So the topic prompt for today is tell us a story about your business. Any story you pick, just tell us a story about your business. Okay. Remember, you are also continuing to practice eye contact. Don't lose sight of that. These are building blocks. Every Tuesday, Thursday next week, we are building and building and building each and every time. Okay. Okay. The objective here is to get all 4 of your lives done by Sunday, the 24th. See, I did the number 4 and then I said 24. It's the 21st, Sunday, the 21st. What that does is it gets you a discounted price if you want to join the Go Live League. Your first month is $1, or you can pay for the year and you get 3 months free. And it enters you into a drawing. I will spin the wheel and somebody's going to win free access to that Go Live League. Okay. And probably the most important thing is you get some personal satisfaction of having done it, having gone live all 4 times and practice something that you learned, which is the most important thing. And I would just say this to those of you that haven't gone live yet, and maybe it's because you're nervous, maybe there could be a whole bunch of reasons. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to just grab your phone, and I don't want you to even think about it. I want you to just go live and just say hi. I don't care if it's 10 seconds long. I swear, I promise you, it's like as soon as you break that barrier and you have done the first one, even if it's horrible, you got it over with. Okay? I had several people message me in the last few days, and they said something like, I did it. It was awful, but I did it. Oh my gosh, I did it. And I cheered them on, and we celebrated, and we did a happy dance and all of that crazy stuff. That's what's more important here. Just start. Okay? You will suck. They will. It's okay. We are all sucking in here. That's the whole point. You gotta suck to get better. You gotta go through that whole process. Okay? So just start. Okay. Those of you who have upgraded to VIP, your extra video today, which you should get an email here. Let's see here. I think it comes out at noon, if I'm not mistaken. You are going to get an extra video on storytelling basics. It's a good one. You guys are going to love it. So I can't wait to see what you do with that. Remember, those of you that are VIPs, if you already have enough on your plate and you're like, I can't add anything more, save this video. You can do it later. If you want to tackle it now and you want to bring it on, I know it's under 10 minutes. This will help you even more with your stories. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see what questions you have. Going through this. Hold on. It takes me a minute here. Ooh, lots of obstacles. Oh, by the way, with obstacles. Ooh, I'm so glad you guys are so excited about this. I had a banner here. I will be live tomorrow as well. It'll probably be in the afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got stuff all morning. And I'm going to do another one. I've committed to doing 2 a week. What is this? As you guys join the group or shared your challenges with going live, I've done a poll in the group with all of those challenges. And the ones that get the most votes, I'm going to obliterate them. So yesterday we talked about stumbling, stammering, going blank. Right now, the one that's in the lead in terms of votes for tomorrow is the one about, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Hold on. Did I put it in my notes? Hold on. I didn't put it in my notes. I did look at it and I did put it in my notes. I can't remember what it is. Oh, it's distracted. I get distracted. I get distracted by something. It pulls me off my plan, or I go off on tangents. And the next thing I know, I'm talking about. And listen, I am the tangent queen. I would beat all of you in a tangent contest. I promise. So I've got some things to share about that. They are short lives. I try to shoot for under 10 minutes. I do them on my phone. So it's a vertical instead of a horizontal, just to help see that attention. So know that I will do that tomorrow. Okay. Boop, boop. Hold on here. We're doing Q&A. Back to Q&A. Let's see what you guys have for questions. Hold on here. I'm reading. Oh, shoot. Every time you guys add a comment, it like shifts everything, and then I'm going to grab and then it's gone. So hold on here. Let me get to any questions that you might have, and we're going to answer it. I love somebody else sent me some more Starry Night stuff. Oh, you guys are the best. I love it. Okay. Okay, this is, you guys are loving what you've learned. I'm awesome. Look at all this. Yes, Patty. By the way, I'll give you all a sneak peek. If you are constantly telling yourself, I'm so nervous, you're hurting yourself. Instead, shift the story you tell yourself. It's not nervous. If you're saying, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Got some negative energy around it. Being nervous and being excited, almost the exact same thing going on in your body. So when you feel that, instead say, I'm nervous, not I'm nervous. Instead say, I'm excited. This is so important. I want to do well in this. I can't wait to serve my people. Change the narrative that's playing in your brain, and you will not believe the transformation that happens. That's what that one was all about, Patty. Okay. No questions, just wonderful comments. You guys are so awesome. You're so awesome. Jeanette says, I got distracted talking about distractions. Yeah, see? Queen of the tangent right here. Okay. The biggest challenge is to come up with a short story that fits in a 3-minute video. Yep, that's the challenge, right? Now, you only have to do that for this challenge. And I'm not, here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to be like, oh, 3 minutes, I didn't finish my story, cut, and I got to be done. No, I don't want you to think about that, okay? Oftentimes, when you are telling stories, we often think that we're telling stories like we would tell it to a friend that we're having coffee with, or the story that we would tell at dinner with the family, when there's plenty of time to tell that story, okay? So using that same Netflix analogy, what I want you to recognize is they don't want all of the details. It's about picking the right details that drive your point. Now, this is even after the challenge, right? If you find that your audience responds well to long stories and all that detail, great. But what you want to be careful of, and this is not just Nadia, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, is if there's too many details, it in of itself can be distracting. It can become boring. Not that the story is boring, but they're not here for the story. They're here for the lesson from it. So picking the details is an important part of that, right? Okay. What I would say is this. Remember, the goal for the 3 minutes in this challenge only is so that I can watch as many videos as possible. Okay. There are 84 people signed up for this challenge. If you're all going live and you're all doing 10-minute videos, there's not enough hours in the day for me to watch. Okay. So it keeps it shorter. More people can watch. And more other challengers will watch your videos if they're shorter. I promise you. Tell me if this is not true. Has anybody ever sent you a video and they're like, oh my gosh, you got to watch this. You got to check this out. You got to see this person's video. And you pull it up and you're like, 90 minutes? I ain't got time for 90 minutes. You don't even begin to watch it because you see how long it is. It's an important call out. You got to know your audience and know how busy they are. If you are targeting busy professionals or moms or whatever else, they don't have time for that long. Now, if you're targeting people who are retired, maybe they got all the time in the world to listen to those long stories. So just be careful there. I'm not saying yes or no, do or don't. I'm saying it's a decision that you all have to make about how much story, how many details you are sharing in that story. Okay. Okay. Starry Night. You've not seen Starry Night? Okay. You need to Google Starry Night, Vincent van Gogh. It's beautiful. You'll love it. It's my favorite thing ever. Okay. Joanne says, should videos be horizontal? Okay. If you are going live on your computer, your laptop, your desktop, they are horizontal. Yes. If you are going live on your phone, they are vertical. Okay. There is data that suggests that more vertical videos are watched versus horizontal. I've not tested that myself to know for a fact that that is the case, but that is the statistics that's out there. What I would tell you is variety matters, okay? If every single video is you this way, same background, same everything, maybe you even wear the same color shirt all the time, you can't remember which video was which, and is this the new video or was this the video from the other day, and I don't know which video is which, okay? So shifting it up and doing something different grabs attention. That variety matters. So play with both. Play with both. Okay. Yes, Claudia, the painting. You know that painting. Yes, it's art. It's exactly right. It's art. Okay. Where did you say you'll share ideas of stories? Okay. 2 things. Every Monday in the Get on Camera group, I drop a topic prompt for you to use that week in your life. It's just idea. It's just an inspiration. It helps you go, what could I talk about? What goes in the center that I can play with every Monday? Okay. And that is something that you can use in your own space, in your group, on your page, in your profile, wherever. Okay. I also have a list of 100 Go Live topics. If you want me to send you the link, just type in the comments 100 Go Live topics and I'll get you the link to grab that. More than that, the story ideas here are your social media posts. So things that you are already posting on social media, things that you are seeing in other places on your feed, things that other people do, all of those can become ideas for stories. Okay. So for example, let me give you an example. Let's say you see something that, let's just say I post a quote, just an inspirational, motivational quote. And you're like, oh my gosh, I felt that all the way into my bones. The quote goes in the middle. What story can I tell? What does this quote inspire me to tell a story? There you go. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Oh, everybody wants the 100 Go Live story ideas. I love it. You guys are so awesome. Okay. Let's see here. Have I covered everything? I think I have covered everything that I wanted to cover. Okay. So how long has it been? 45 minutes. Does anybody have questions on anything else, not story related? I will stay here for another few minutes if you got other questions that you want to ask and get answered. I would encourage you to take advantage of this. I don't hold back. You can ask me anything and I will give you an answer. The only time I will say, no, I'm not going to give you the answer is if it's specifically part of something that somebody has paid for, because I want to respect the person who's paid for that. But usually I've got to work around where I might tell you this much or some bit of that. So if you got questions on anything, bring them to these lives. There is a question post every single day that says, what questions do you have about day one? You can drop any question you want in there. I would encourage you to take advantage of that. If you want to ask a question about anything, I'm an open book. I give as freely as I possibly can. Okay, let's see if there's anything coming up. Patty says, what is your favorite part of going live? Is that the question? What's my favorite part of going live? Oh, favorite part. I always hate favorite questions because I feel like whatever I pick, like I hurt the feelings of anything I don't pick. Like, what's your favorite food? Well, if I pick pizza, Spaghetti's over here going, why did she pick me? So I can never pick one. It's always hard for me to pick one. But I think I would have to say it's the engagement. It's the connection back and forth. I love seeing your comments. I love it when you make me laugh. I love you sharing things back and forth. Like all of that is that's probably my favorite part. It's the moment of connection that I just love. Okay, but Nadia or Patty's going to push me here. Pick two. Okay, pick two. I think the second thing is the energy. The difference between going live when it's a recorded video. So like if I have a video that's in my membership or that's in, a course or whatever else it is, they're good videos, but live just has this different feel. And it's because of all of the people. And it's not just me, it's everybody else. We all share. And I love it when somebody else offers a perspective and asks and share something that helps. Like earlier, I shared Stephanie's example. And that just made us all better. Stephanie sharing something made us all better. Like those are just, because I feel like, we're not alone. Sometimes it feels like very alone being an entrepreneur because you're like, it's just me. Like I don't have a team. I don't have a people. But you do. This is a community. You're now part of this awesome community inside of Get on Camera. And we all share and we all want everybody to succeed and win. And I feel like that energy of the community comes forth in these lives, even though you're not live with me. It's the closest thing we get to like a Zoom call. And I love the energy around that for sure. Love it. Okay. How did I do, Patty? Did I go okay? Did I do okay? All right. Do you have to put comments on your video? Okay, Claudia, I need more information. Are you talking about replying to comments? Are you talking about me commenting on my own video? I need a little bit more information there so I answer that correctly. Or is it all of that? You want me to talk about all of that? Okay, Judy says you're going to be covering backgrounds. Well, let's cover it right now. How about that, Judy? The most important thing that I can tell you about backgrounds. Oh, wait, did I talk about this yesterday? Now I'm getting myself turned around. I can't remember if I talked about it yesterday. I think I talked about it already. Okay, tell you what, Judy, here's what I'm going to do. I think I already talked about it. If I did, I will make sure to let you know where it was. If I didn't, I don't know if you all experienced this, but as an introvert, I'm an introvert and nobody ever believes me, but I'm a serious introvert. I often confuse what I thought about in here as having actually happened. I'm not alone, right? You all do this too? Yeah. So I think I covered backgrounds, but it may have been somewhere else. So I'll make a note, and I'll either let you know, Judy, where that's at, or I will cover it on another video. Okay. But here's what I will tell you. Very quick answer. Most important thing, no distractions. What happens when our backgrounds are busy, when there's lots going on back here, is that the eyes don't know where to focus. And so the eyes get distracted. It almost hurts, if you know what I mean, because there's so much stuff. I don't know where to look. So if you clean up this background, it doesn't have to be professional. It doesn't have to be, a gorgeous office with bookshelves and whatever. It just needs to be clean, because what you want is them not looking at this, and you want them looking at you and focusing on what it is that you have to share. That's what's most important. So how do you clean that up? Just know that from here, that needs to be cleaned. It can be a mess everywhere else, right? I just clear it out, clean it up. That's the best tip I can give you. But I know I covered more things. I just got to remember where it was. Okay. Joanne says, how about reading text research details? Are you talking about scripts and what are they called? Oh my gosh, the word is escaping me. Here's what I find. Teleprompters. There's the word. I don't mind teleprompters. Somebody once paid me to do a video for them. And they had a script for me, and they required that I said it word for word, which meant that I had to use a teleprompter, and it was a miserable experience. It was so hard to be engaging and have the energy that I like in my videos while I'm reading a script. And what happens is we tend to read the words. And so what happens is, I wish I had, I just got a new book. Somebody just recommended this book to me. So I'm just going to flip to a page. Hopefully it's not anything scandalous. Let's say I'm just going to read this. Okay. Nina shakes her head just as Cecilia lifts her tear-streaked face off her mother's chest long enough to glare at me. The two of us have not gotten off on the right foot, but I'll find a way to fix it. I'll make her brownies or something. Kids are easy. Adults are tricky. I'm determined to win them over. I'm reading. It feels like reading. So I'm not a big fan of that because of it. So there are teleprompters where you can put in bullet points instead of whole sentences. I'm a much bigger fan of that. That's why I said when you're doing your story details, bullet point those details out, and then just look at the bullet point and then talk about it. Look at the next bullet point and talk about it. That's going to feel so much better. I think we get in our heads and we think, I have to be eloquent, therefore I have to script out every word that I'm going to say. And the problem is when you script out every word that you're going to say, you come across as robotic. Instead, just know the point you're trying to make and then speak from the heart. You know your stuff. They'd rather you talk from the heart and share your stuff than have exactly the right word. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I hope that helps, Joanne. If it's something else you're asking of me, just phrase it a little bit differently. Okay. Can my live be well received if I'm not funny and I don't have frenetic energy? Yes. Yes. The question that I would ask here is, well, first of all, going back to like public speaking stuff, there's that idea of start your speech and tell a joke. Well, that's great advice if you're funny. But if you are not funny, this is a bad idea. It bombs bad, right? So I don't want you to feel like you have to be funny if you're not funny. The other thing that I think is important here is to be yourself, be how you are, especially if you are a consultant or a coach or you're going to be working with somebody, because here's what you don't want to have happen. You don't want to do a video and it has this kind of energy, whatever that kind of energy is. And then they book a call with you and they get on a call with you and they're like, these do not match. And it can be either way, right? If your videos are very, and then they get on a call with you and you're like, there's the disconnect. Okay. So it's important to be yourself here so that there is congruity between this and when we work together. That's what's important. So if you are not high energy, you don't have to be high energy. But I want to call this out. Oftentimes I feel like people think, I got to be like Jamie. I got to have this energy like Jamie. No. But there's a difference between having this kind of energy and showing emotion. I would say what's more important is to show emotion behind what you're talking about. So let me give you an example. So let's say in your video, you're wanting to just welcome people like to this challenge and you're wanting to, you're excited about it. Okay. If I come in here and I start my video and I'm like, hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today. And I hope you're going to enjoy this. Do you believe what I'm saying? No. I'm really excited about being here. Nothing in my body shows I'm really excited about being here. Okay. You don't have to say, oh my gosh, oh, I'm so excited. This is going to be so good. You're going to love it. Like, that's too much. Okay. So you can still be yourself. You can still be mellow and chill and say, you guys, I'm so excited about what we're going to do. Show emotion. You can do that with pausing. It doesn't have to be, okay? That pausing can be more powerful than the crazy, okay? Hope that answered your question. Okay, if you're going live in your business, should you ask people to join a group instead of on your personal page doing the live itself? This is your choice. This is your call, okay? There's differences between all three. I would tell you in general, a business page gets the lowest possible reach. You're going to reach the fewest people. It's just because Facebook has turned down that algorithm reach and not as many people are going to see it. That's an intentional decision that they have made because in their minds, I'm sure here I am trying to be Facebook and I can't say for certain, but I would guess they're trying to get money from that business. If that's a business, they have money, they can pay for ads. So they turn down that organic reach. Okay. The highest reach you're going to find is in a group. Groups take work. They take work, right? Groups are not easy. I love my group. I wouldn't change it for anything. But I will tell you, there was a time when my Facebook group was dead as a doornail. So they take energy and effort and work, but they can be so very, very rewarding. The power of the group is it's private, right? You all are going live and practicing in this group and nobody else is going to see it. That feels safe. So there's power there, right? Your group should be something special. You want people to want to hang out and spend time in your group. So whatever you're doing in your group, you want that to be only happening in the group. You want there to be a compelling reason to be in the group because there's only special things that happen there. Okay. Your personal profile, you can use for business. There's something called creator mode. I don't think it's called creator mode anymore. I'm drawing a blank at what it is. Sometimes just turning that on makes you feel a little bit better about talking about business things on your personal profile. I will tell you this. I'm going to share a teeny tiny story. Here we go with stories, right? For the longest time, I was resistant to using my personal profile for my business. And for various reasons. One, I felt like I'd get in trouble. I felt like I would go in Facebook jail. I'm a rule follower. I'm a rule follower to a point, like I need to know the rules so I know when to break them. But ultimately, I like to know the rules. And so I felt like I was breaking rules by talking about my business on my personal profile. And so I recently met somebody, not recently, at the time, I had met somebody in a networking event. And invited her. And so she's like, I'm going to check her out and see what she's all about. So she went over to my profile to check me all out. And she messaged me, and I'm so glad she did because it was a turning point in my business. She messaged me and she said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, like I was really excited to meet you in networking. I couldn't wait to get to know you and see what you had to offer. And I went to your personal profile and it was all about your dog Otis and food. And I almost just went, oh, she's not legit. And I almost didn't connect anymore. I almost walked away from that. And that was like, oh my gosh, like that was like, oh, knife in my chest. And in that moment, I realized this is a missed opportunity. My friends and family, I can create a separate profile on Facebook and my friends and family will go there for my Otis pictures and my food stuff and my nonsense. But using your personal profile for business has been one of the best decisions I ever made in my business. So I don't know that this answers your question, but my advice from a business perspective is use your personal profile for business and switching on that creator mode, that professional mode on your personal profile. It gave me the permission I needed to know that I could do that I could use it in that way. Let me know if you want to talk more about this. I'm happy to. I don't know who this is, but okay. We got a whole bunch more questions and we are at an hour. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull all these questions. I'll pull it into a separate video, or I may reach out and comment, or I may reach out and message you, but I promise you I will answer each and every question that you all have dropped. I promise. Okay. All right. So let us wrap up today with this. Let's just remind everybody, your objective, go live, tell a story. Don't forget your eye contact. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's your action. Okay. The most important thing that I want you to take away from today is that telling stories connects us. It connects them to you. It connects them to your message, to what you're trying to share. It makes it easier for people to remember you and the topic that you're sharing. Okay. The whole objective of inside this Go Live Challenge is to give you a model that makes doing this easier. More than easier, it makes it effective. That's the objective. Okay. Have fun with this one. If you need help, let us know. Drop questions and comments. I don't hold back. I'll give you whatever I can. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. See you next time.